and welcome to the Wednesday Wrap-Up. I am Jessica Potts, a business strategist. On this week's Wednesday Wrap-Up, I am going to be talking about creating a flawless client onboarding system. So if you have ever been anxiety-ridden or you're questioning your pricing and you're waiting a week or two to get back to your customer, I'm going to lay out my client onboarding system so that when you get a new client, you have them onboarded in less than 20 minutes. So tune in. Welcome back to the Wednesday Wrap-Up. I am Jessica Potts. I am a business strategist that focuses on customer and product growth. I work with coaches, strategists, and consultants to help them gain online visibility, to attract their ideal customer, and increase their overall profits. Now, before we get going on this week's Wednesday Wrap-Up, I ask you to go ahead and subscribe, and that way you won't miss a weekly video that I do for Wednesday Wrap-Ups. And if you want to be alerted, go ahead and press the bell beside the subscribe, and that way you will be alerted when a new video is released. This week on the Wednesday Wrap-Up is something that I wish I would have started my business way before I did. I was in business for approximately a year, and when it came to onboarding a new client, it was stress and anxiety ridden. I mean, if this sounds like you, I want you to leave me a comment. If you get off of the call and you are like, this is gonna be my new client, and then anxiety sets in because you gotta get a proposal out, you've gotta figure out what services are gonna best fit their needs, and then it takes you a couple of days to get that out, and then you don't have a contract set up in place or any type of agreements, and your onboarding system is, well, non-existent, or it creates stress, definitely tune in. I'm going to walk you through my onboarding system that literally, after my initial call, takes me about 20 minutes to get a new client set up. All right, so let's dive in. So phase one is when someone discovers you. So this could be through a YouTube video or a blog post. And my whole thing is that I have a URL that immediately takes them to my calendar. As they're scheduling a time on my calendar, they're going to be prompted to answer a few questions that I have. Now, I personally like just to have 3 or 4 questions. I ask what type of business they're in and their website name, what is their largest business goal, and what's the obstacle that is holding them back. This allows me to have some information before jumping on that 15-minute clarity call so that we can use the whole 15 minutes to understand and start to strategize the direction of their business. The call can go 2 ways, right? So either we're really not a great fit, and at that point I may suggest another person that they'd be aligned to work with, or we are a great fit, and at that point I discuss my pricing and my pricing options to start working together. Now, I personally like to do this all in the first call. Creating a proposal and sending it out, that is a wasted step in my mind. You should know your pricing and your services right off the top of your head and be able to discuss those with your new potential client. Okay, phase 2, they're a client who's excited. Now, I want this phase to be really genuine and exciting and not thought of as anxiety and, oh my gosh, now I've got to get an agreement and I've got to do this and that. I want everything to be very automated. First thing I do is I send an agreement to my clients. Now, let me be honest, I did not have an agreement for many years. And what happened was I was taking calls at 9:30 at night. People were asking for unrealistic turnarounds. It created a lot of chaos in my life. Creating boundaries and having accountability and those expectations laid out in an agreement is going to make your life so much easier. This also allows my clients to understand how I work. They know that I'm going to turn around emails within 24 hours. They know that we have a set call on each day and time. Everything is laid out. It makes life so much easier. In my agreement, I lay out our working terms, behavior. If they have to miss a call, I lay out how that looks, and I also lay out payment, and I also lay out how I work and tell them what my turnaround time is, etc. If you don't have an agreement, I highly recommend getting one, and also having a lawyer just check over that agreement for you. All right, agreement is done. I also send out my invoice. I use FreshBooks. I go ahead and set up my invoice where it recurs on a monthly basis. It's automated. I don't have to remember. I don't have to do anything. And FreshBooks also sends out a reminder if they do not pay their invoice within a certain amount of time. And that way it's all off my shoulder and I'm just getting paid and being able to focus in on what I love doing, which is strategy and working with my clients. All right, so we have the agreement, we have the invoice out. I personally like to send a welcome gift at this point. I love sending my clients just something small to say thank you, and it creates a great overall customer experience. There's a bunch of different options that you can use. I've done Starbucks gift cards. Right now I'm sending Panda planners to my clients. It's a bit of an investment. It's $30 or $40, but I love them because they have one that is just for entrepreneurs. And it asks you what you're grateful for, what your goals are, what your focus for the day is. It is a great, great planner. And not only that, who doesn't love getting something in the mail, right? Besides bills, I love getting gifts in the mail, and I find that my clients love that too. It's the small things. In the back end, I like to set up where I am very organized. And the first thing I do is I set up a Google Drive and share it with my client. I upload our agreement into that drive, and I also upload our weekly sessions into the Google Drive so that they can access those recorded videos whenever they like. I also go into my inbox and my email, and I go ahead and designate and create a folder just for that company, and I put all of our email communication that I receive into that folder to stay organized, and I can easily access or go back and find things that I may have missed. All right, so we have all the back end set up. I have my client set up. On our first call, which my first call is usually an hour and a half, I use Zoom, and that way I'm able to video conference with my new client. We're able to get to know each other a little bit, as well as dive into that first session. I record that call, like I mentioned earlier, and after the call, I save the call with the date and a small description of what we discussed in that call, and I upload it into that Google Drive for my client to be able to access that video. After the call, I send an email within 24 hours of our session, and it has bullet point highlights of what we spoke about, and it also has actionable items that my client has agreed to do. All of these items are items that are hitting their financial bottom line and moving their business forward. I do have some clients that prefer for me to email them on Friday mornings and asking them about their week and what they had got accomplished. I love this because, one, it allows for my clients to have accountability, which is usually one of their biggest reasons of why they have a strategist or a coach in their life. And it allows for me to be able to connect with them throughout the week, make sure that they're staying on track. That is all I do to onboard new clients. It's not that hard, and it took me maybe 2 hours to lay out everything, and now it saves me gobs of time. I am consistent with each and every new client, right? Nothing ever falls between the cracks, and I did find that over time, I did have to go back and tweak it. So if it's not perfect at first, don't worry. You can perfect it with each new client and add or take away items that may be relevant or non-relevant. All right, so if you are ready to take back your time, make client onboarding easy peasy, then this is what you need to start implementing today. Now, if you find that this video resonates with you, if you're looking to have a strategist come in and evaluate your company and look and see how we can implement different systems within your business to save you time and money and sanity, go ahead and book a 15-minute call with me and we can discuss where you are in business and where you want to be in the next 3, 6, 9 months. I'm Jessica, and that is this week's Wednesday wrap up, and I will see you next week.